will be released next month. We will know more then about where we stood 5 years ago. The most recent annual NSF research expenditure rankings for fiscal year 08 place us 48th in total federal R&D expenditures. Our countable external federal R&D expenditures are $219 million and have increased over 78% since 2001. Our ranking as to scale among all research universities for total research expenditures is 70th. Our total research expenditures, that's not just federal, that's everything, are $257 million and have increased some 72% since 2001. This shows us two things. We're moving in the right direction, but we still have a way to go. One of the unique qualities of the undergraduate experience here, one of the measures of UVA's goodness, is that we blend the intimacy and collegiality of a liberal arts college with the extensive research resources of a major university. From your first day on the grounds, you have the opportunity to participate in research and discovery with faculty members. This may not show up in the rankings, but it's an important part of your experience as students. Hidden below the surface of the overall rankings in U.S. News and World Report is some interesting information that tells an important story about UVA. Among the top 25 universities overall, we received the lowest ranking for financial resources at number 64. By contrast, Wake Forest, tied with us for overall quality, is ranked number 7 on resources, and UCLA is ranked number 23 for resources. This is the result of a steady decline in our state support over the last decade. Since 2000-2001, state funding per in-state student at UVA fell from $12,011 to $8,601 in the 2009-2010 academic year. It is projected to decline further to $8,470 in the coming academic year. This means that an in-state student's contribution towards the cost of his or her education is larger than the state's contribution. Enough bad news. Here's some good news. The university's graduation rate of 93% is the top-ranked public institution in this category, and we tied for 12th among all of our peers, both public and private. UVA's retention rate for first-year students is 97%, among the very best in the nation. What does all this mean? Well, it means that, according to all reasonable logic, we should not be as good as we are. It means that we are extremely efficient. It means that we somehow deliver an excellent academic product to our students without the resources that other universities have. The end result is that we produce a very good product on graduation day. You, the men and women who leave here to enter careers and communities all over the world. I hear from many employers that they can recognize a UVA graduate when they see one. There is something special and uniquely UVA about the young men and women who embark on careers after leaving this place. But they can't name for me what that specialness is. What is it about this place that produces such distinctive people? The Chronicle of Higher Education has just launched a series of articles to answer the question, how should quality in higher education be measured? As the Chronicle points out, the rankings of colleges and universities measure things like students' admissions test scores and the number of books in their libraries. But those measures don't reveal much about what colleges actually do for their students. Or in the lingo of evaluation research, we have input measures, but not process measures. What else happens here at UVA that goes unaccounted for in those rankings? And can we measure or even describe those intangibles. As students here, you participate in long-standing systems of honor and self-governance. You volunteer to serve your local community through Madison House. You develop and refine your leadership skills by participating in student government and other leadership programs. How do we measure the effect of these experiences? How do they contribute to the quality of this place? One of the most distinctive features of university life is the remarkable degree to which our students are responsible for themselves and for each other. We want to encourage this and to foster the growth of a caring community, one whose members recognize their shared responsibility for each other. Students initiated the call for a day of dialogue, which will occur on Friday, September 24th. The purpose of this day of discussion is to continue conversations that began last spring in the wake of Yardley Love's death. Conversations about violence, violence prevention, and safety. I hope all of you who are able to participate will do so. UVA students have launched another initiative with a similar purpose. You may have heard, or you may soon hear, about the Get Grounded Coalition. Composed of student-run organizations, the coalition is working to create a culture of shared responsibility on the grounds, to teach all of us to be vigilant and to look out for each other's well-being. This strong sense of community and shared responsibility certainly contributes to the quality of your experience here, but it doesn't necessarily show up in the national rankings. Other intangibles of this place defy measurement. How do we calculate the value of living and learning in Thomas Jefferson's academical village, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, or walking along on an autumn night under a full moon? How do we measure the value of learning and living the core values that define this place? Honor and ethics, service, innovation and collaboration. The student body here is uniformly intelligent. 90% of the students in this year's entering class are in the top 10% of their high school's graduating class. That number hovers around 90% mark every year. You and your classmates could have gone to almost any college or university anywhere. So why did you choose to come here? Maybe it's because of these intangibles that defy the tools of measurement. We know that we have wonderful faculty here, but how wonderful are they? Is there a way to measure that? The effectiveness of teaching can be difficult to quantify and measure, but various parties are working on ways to try to do it. Several quality of learning projects are underway nationally. One example is the Voluntary System of Accountability. The program is funded by the Lumina Foundation and sponsored by the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities, which is called APOU, and the Association of State Colleges and Universities, called ASCID. This program collects data on learning outcomes at public four-year colleges and universities. And each institution that participates, and there are now 332 of them, create accountability reports. This report appears on their homepage. There's a similar program among private institutions called UCAN, which currently has over 900 institutions included. One piece of information that these organizations ask for is a measure of the value added by the college. And here's how they try to measure that. They compare the scores on exit tests administered to graduating seniors with the scores of entering first-year students. Or in some cases, they compare the scores of a graduate with his or her own scores as an entering student. While I was at Michigan, we thought about whether this made sense for us. And so we decided to do a pilot of this exit exam. We gave the exit exam to a random sample entering freshmen. They're not first years there, they're freshmen. So at Michigan, the entering freshmen scored in the 99th percentile of the exit exam. And of course what that means is there is no way for the university to show any value added because they can't improve. Now I'm pretty sure, based on the similarities in the two entering classes, that we would have exactly the same result in Virginia, so that we could not prove through that test that any value had been added. How effective is a test to measure learning outcomes if everyone aces the test? Here at UVA in the Curry School of Education, we do have a program that focuses on the quality of teaching and student learning. It's called the Center for the Advanced Study of Teaching and Learning, or CASTLE. The CASTLE researchers apply scientific analysis to measure the quality of teaching. They use technology and observational research to provide direct support to teachers. Today, CASTLE has worked primarily to evaluate and improve the quality of K-12 teacher education. This work has included designing new mechanisms for the study and support of teachers in the field, understanding the classroom conditions that maximize students' engagement in learning, and integrating teachers' knowledge with their skills and transmitting their knowledge to the students. The leaders of the CASTLE program are now working to expand these programs to higher education, starting with programs here at the university. The ultimate goal is to transform our own degree and training programs into laboratories for the study and improvement of higher education. You're going to have opportunity to learn more about CASTLE and the study of teaching and learning this spring. As part of my inauguration as president next April, we plan to hold an academic conference focused on ways to improve teaching performance. It will be a one-day pan-university conference that coincides with a research competition. I hope you'll take an interest in those activities and encourage your classmates to do so. So back to the question, how will we know that we are good? There's another way we can measure ourselves. Let's put that question to our founder. Would Thomas Jefferson think that we are good? To what extent have we fulfilled Jefferson's aspirations for the university he envisioned and built? Can we measure the extent to which we have fulfilled his founding vision? Jefferson was pretty clear about his ambitions for this place, and those ambitions were sky high. He wrote, "This institution will be based on the illimitable freedom of the human mind to explore and to expose every subject susceptible of its contemplation." Talk about setting the bar high. Although his aspirations were lofty, Jefferson's ideas about the necessities of learning were very down to earth. He grounded the university's original curriculum in what he called the useful sciences. The word science in 19th century usage referred not only to the empirical sciences, but to all fields of learning. In a letter he wrote some 19 years before the university's founding, Jefferson described his vision for a new university that would educate students in the sciences which seemed useful and practicable. In the same letter, he listed the subjects that he believed would address the useful sciences. They spanned a broad range of disciplines: botany, chemistry, zoology, anatomy, surgery, medicine, natural philosophy, agriculture, mathematics, astronomy, geology, geography, politics, commerce, history, ethics, law, arts, fine arts. The list reads like a sampler of the university's curriculum today. Jefferson saw the accumulation of knowledge in a wide selection of disciplines as essential to the maturation of the human mind and fundamental to the fulfillment of basic human needs. He wrote, "Knowledge is power. Knowledge is safety. Knowledge is happiness. Knowledge is useful," he argued, "because it prepares young people to assume meaningful roles in society, to step into adulthood as enlightened, ethical, contributing members of their communities.